Adam, how special a win is that?
Yeah, it was a good win, wasn't it? Yeah, they responded well from a poor week. So, and it's been pretty heavy the last few weeks. But, really proud of them.
What were the emotions like in the rooms before, after everything?
Before?
No, what are the emotions like in the rooms just then, after everything that's gone on?
Oh, look, perspective, I suppose. I mean, just really proud of the players. Like, I suppose how I'm feeling. Last week was, pretty heavy, but I was more disappointed about the criticism 3 weeks ago about the tanking stuff. Like that probably cut me a bit deeper. So put that to bed. And then the performance of the players, the leaders in particular, they stood up really well. They obviously galvanised throughout the week after a bad game against Fremantle. And our younger players followed our leaders.
When you look at this game as a whole, do you feel like that pressure that you brought in the first term was something that you've been looking for all year? You said you've been looking for that level all year. Was that it?
We've been doing it, but just not consistently. Like, we haven't been doing it for more than a half or 3 quarters. So, and that's always your focus. Every team wants that focus. So we managed to do it from the start, which is really pleasing. And Tim Kelly, Elliot Yeo pinch hitting and centre bounces, and now the bittersweet of today is Yeo. He's done a small hamstring. So, and that's on me. I probably left him on ball too long, so I should have kept him back. So, and he's really happy for the win. And McGovern's pretty sore too. So they threw everything at it today.
When you look back at this game during the week ahead of what's going to be a big emotional week, can you take more than just footy things out of this into next week? The goodbyes of Kern, Shuey.
Yeah, big week next week. And I've said this a fair bit to you a lot about how it's bigger than this week, next week, last week, what we're trying to do. Obviously it's not about playing finals for us, it's about building. So to win away like this was really special, and I think it'll pay us back next year. And when these guys grow and get that winning feeling more often, that's how these little things start. So you've got to start somewhere, and that's where we're at the moment.
I know you said it was a heavy week. It was a heavy week for you personally, obviously, or in the media for you. What's your emotion right now based on that?
I wish I could be higher, but I don't let the lows get to me either. So I've just got this. It really annoys a lot of people, especially my wife. I don't ride the highs. I don't bottom out either. So I'm really happy for the players. They responded, and whatever happens with me, I suspect it shouldn't change. What a decision for me is not based on today or last week. It's based on how they see it going forward, and whatever they decide, they decide.
You said that the allegations of tanking or whatever they were really cut you deep. Is that just more because you are, like you said, been in this industry for 30 years and you're a competitor?
Yeah. It was a flippant comment by a few people about the Essendon game, and strategically we try to manipulate the game so we lose, and that's just not on. So, and it's hard to respond because you don't want to, but I have now, so bad luck. I've done it. So we move on real quick. I'm not stressed too much. But at the time, I was thinking, really? Is that what you think we do?
Adam, so much talk around what West Coast should have done if they had the number 1 pick. You're no longer even in that position. What's your reaction to that?
Not this week.
If you have one this week.
I just can't. We can't live in that space. The draft's the draft. They'll decide that in the next week. So I feel, I feel for Harley. Like it's the. I mean, did he send some sort of like? My son liked the same thing. So. Maybe he should be on the back page. So I don't know. That stuff. That's just white noise. I'm not worried about that stuff. And as a club, we would take this win any day of the week to help build what we're trying to do in the future, and what will be in the draft.
What was your son's reason for liking it?
It was his mates, not him. I said, "What's going on? 3 of your mates are taking the footy train all the time, and they want me to get the flick." So I just had a laugh. He reckons he just likes everything. This kid. So Paddy. It's on you.
Jamie Cripps had a big week personally and then a massive game out there. You must be incredible.
Cripper, yeah, another baby boy. Flew over yesterday. I think our leaders have been carrying a lot. There hasn't been a lot of them compared to what we normally have. And Cripper getting him back in good form. I don't think he did a lot in the first half, but to end up with 5. Tim Kelly spoke about. Liam Duggan was sensational today. Elliot Yeo. McGovern, I'm sure I'm going to Jake Darling, just all those. When our best players play well, we normally go all right.
What's your theory on the performance like today and losing 5 games by 100 plus points this year? Like the massive gulf in performance.
I don't have a theory on it, but I'm not saying I'm not surprised. I think there's going to be games where we, don't look as competitive as today. Stopping momentum has been a real struggle for us, and we're going to transition our way through a new build. So I think we're the 3rd or 4th youngest today, and we'll get real young. So inconsistency is what happens at the bottom of the ladder. So, but the way they rock up on Mondays and the attitude and the spirit amongst the playing group, I'm seeing that grow. Just don't see it on the field every week. So, and then there's probably some of the stuff that I do as a coach as well. I can try and do better.
You're very active down on the bench, especially at the start of the game. Did you feel that had an impact on how the first half played?
Nah, I don't think I did a lot today. I think the senior coaches, they set the tone and manage the week. I tried really hard this week because when the intention's on me, how do you deflect that a little bit? And the club too, the board, our CEO, they've been ridiculed and almost they've been embarrassed the way they've been projected. So trying to protect our players from that and get them to focus on the process of the game is my job. So pre-game, I can't remember what I did, but it wouldn't have made any difference.
Oscar Allen gets plenty of plaudits.
Oh, he's another one.
But I don't think there could be any more strapping tape on him if you try. He's going through a lot of pain. You just must be so impressed.
Yeah, I've said this before. He's got to learn how to land better. But he was pivotal today. So he's fantastic leader for us for a young player to almost play every game. And everyone plays sore this time of year, especially key position players. So he'll enjoy his break.
When they look at young kids, sometimes things like like Harry Sheezel, for example, the disposals and all that get pointed out. But today, I think Ryan Marrick tackled Norton and Bontempelli not long later, about 7 tackles. It's those little efforts that they're just continuing to grow. That must be pleasing. Yeah,
I think Yowie was on the bench in the last quarter and he's tough. He's a tough player. We probably didn't see that in the draft. We saw skill, AFL running patterns and a good mark, but he's game ready in terms of the toughness piece, which when you're young sometimes it's not quite there. So he took another step forward.
I think McGovern was done when he came off holding his shoulder there.
It was his foot.
Oh, it was his foot, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think he's carrying a knee, and then he hurt his arm. So I was like, pick which one. So I'm surprised he played out the whole game. Actually, I'm not surprised.
So obviously Yo probably got a chance to play next week. Shuey and Hearn, are you confident they'll get up? I'm
hoping they get to the line. So as soon as we know, we'll tell everyone. But they're both just old, and we're trying to get them to the line, but we don't want to get them to the line and they break in the first quarter either. So they've been doing a block of training the last 10 days. Hopefully they ticked off the last thing today, and then they can have a normal week. But as soon as we know, we'll tell everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.